Now, when you hear that little clip, assume they've got our phones, assume they've got our houses, assume they've got us right here as we sit, assume it all. Do that. Find a way to communicate with the people that you need to communicate with over some form of secure communication. Well, that could involve thousands of dollars in equipment. Not necessarily. It may just cost you a little bit more time in getting your communication around. But you need to prepare yourself for something ugly between now and Election Day. Now, everybody's saying this, I suppose. I'll say everybody. But there will be lots of false flags. In fact, this thing that happened in, well, do you know what? Here's the thing. Because, as Mr. White from one of the James Bond pictures, speaking of which, as he says, the first thing you need to know about is that we have people everywhere, and we do. Everywhere. And as much as I would like to reveal some of the things that are ongoing, I can't do this because it may interrupt something good that's in progress. Now, I'm not privy to all the details, but I get the general picture. And this information is disseminated to other people, a lot of them, through secured communications, sometimes in person, sometimes just on pencil and paper, just none of the usual ways. They know about it too. So if I drop off the scope all of a sudden, it doesn't matter. It'll still be there. They'll still be in possession of the information. But take heart. And while you're taking heart, prepare yourself. Now, you heard that story a while ago about the cereal. A lot of the food supply is like this. It would be better for you to eat much more expensive food because it is of higher quality, fewer times over the course of a week, than it is to eat cheap food every night of your life. Okay? Just small meals, small meals. Most people don't burn all those calories anyway, and a lot of it winds up on their front. You know what I mean? Now, why are people getting so fat? Because the body produces fat to store toxins it cannot evacuate. That's a fact. Look into it. You'll find out I'm telling you the truth. All right? Now, about this DOJ thing, which is just more of the same, they are afraid of you. They're absolutely afraid of you. Tim Brown wrote this for the Washington Standard with a quote that starts with, from Amos 6:3, "Woe to you who put afar off the day of doom, who cause the seat of violence to come near." He writes, "Yep, this will be the unlawful hub that the District of Criminals will use to go after innocent American guns. Make no mistake that red flag laws were pitched long ago, but it was President Donald Trump who actually funded them and advanced them through the Justice Department into the states. This has continued under the illegitimate Biden administration. Now the DOJ has announced the launching of a National Extreme Risk Protection Order Resource Center." Now, what President Trump did, and I'm not a Trump apologist at all, but what he did was, it's like, yes, people who have mental illness should be looked after. And certainly if somebody is mentally ill, visibly so, or maybe not so visibly, but something in their past that's been recorded suggests that they may be actually a volatile psychopath, well, you need to watch them a little bit, because if you don't, they're liable to show up in someplace like Uvalde. And then, of course, the cops there did nothing. How many of you would have said, "Give me that thing. Give me a gun right now," and gone in there and killed that slime ball before he killed any more children? How many of you would have risked your own lives to save those children? I suspect most of you would. But anyway, that's the long and the short of it. And the Democrats just continue to vote for all the wrong things. And I ask this question again. It'll get me nowhere, but it might eventually. Why would any Republican vote with any Democrat on anything? Why? What is this need to reach across the aisle? Let's be friends so we can get things done. How's that working? It's not. They're communists. Communists, bought and paid for, so in other words, bribed, unstable, traitors to the Constitution. That's what most of them are. As far as I'm concerned, anybody who can vote for any Democrat in the current era, I cannot understand why they would make such a stupid decision. Particularly since it's that, well, I don't like Trump. Well, how about his policy? You did like being energy independent, didn't you? You did like that things were peaceful with Russia. You did notice that we were not involved in a war during his 4 years. Yeah, but I just don't like Trump. Well, that's stupid. He's not there for you to like him. He's there to do a job. Now, there's more. Letitia James is not going to be able to seize anything. Watch and see. It's all just show, folks. It really is. Now, about Navalny. Alexei Navalny. He was one of my Russian friends / contacts said that Navalny was not always a good guy. He was in there with Putin, so that makes him a bad guy. But what Navalny did was ask an alleged British spy for millions in funding to create a color revolution, intelligence video released by Russia's FSB claims to reveal. So in other words, Navalny was trying to start a color revolution in Russia, which is why he was arrested, sent to a gulag iceberg where he died. Because a color revolution will result in how many countless thousands of deaths if they actually pull it off. President Trump has dropped about 3 names that he would consider as vice president. I wonder who they could be. Not that it really matters much, because the vice president really doesn't do much unless the president drops out, but let's see. He says what he wants in that role is a fighter. That's where, in 2016, you need someone to balance out the ticket. That's where Mike Pence made sense, sort of the yin and yang, but given the vicious nature of the swamp and the insanity we see on a daily basis, you need someone who can take those hits. And that's true, because Mike Pence didn't look like a man who could take very many hits. I wanted to think he was just sitting back there with that look on his face like a really good guard dog, and he was watching over the president, but he wasn't. It was the look of betrayal, at least based on what we have seen. Trump daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner both served in senior White House roles during his last term. Trump Jr. said he and his fiancée Kimberly Guilfoyle, also remaining close to the campaign, had no plans on becoming the second Javanka in the West Wing. Jared Kushner is a problem. I'm pretty sure his father-in-law knows this. Jared Kushner is a problem. Let's see. Sorry. I didn't spot this one early on. What the heck is going on? Illegal immigrant details everything he gets for free in New York City. Okay. Israel's ready to, or a state of isn't real, is ready to release over 700 Palestinians, according to the media. Isn't that great? And then what? Oh, attack in Moscow. 4 primary suspects tied with Ukraine paid out a little over $5,000 to maximize victims of the big shootout. So, was it a false flag or a terror attack? Was it real or was it not? I mean, we can't fool around with this just indefinitely. Australia's Bankwest has announced they will go completely cashless this year and shut down their remaining branches. And I got a lot more news for you here coming up. But one of the things I want to run past you is about the Democrats. Every Democrat voted in furtherance of aiding the migrants to come into the country. Now, we need to get mad, and we need to stay mad, productively mad. Don't turn it inward. That'll depress you. Turn it outward. Start raising hell. You know what to do. You know who to do it with. Were you afraid you're going to be put on a list? I remind you, you're already on a list. All of us are. We've been watched more of our lifetimes than we could possibly imagine. Watched and monitored. Well, let them watch what's fixing to overtake them, because we're not giving up this country. Not to people like this, so that the Klaus Schwabs of the world can tell us how to live and what to eat. We're not doing it. You know, every human being has an expiration date. So you want to live on your feet or on your knees? It's a choice, just like everything else. Thank you very much for being here. I think you'll enjoy our conversation with Dustin Nemos tonight. Stand by.